In today's news, Medicure Pharmacy rededicated here in the BVI, winners announced in the student dessert competition. New public pound to address roaming livestock, and healthcare workers are urged to participate in hand hygiene. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
The win!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Gender is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin', what's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers!
Welcome everybody. It's Monday, May 9th, 2021. I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. A happy Monday to each and every one of you, especially our viewers across the region. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands, Medicure Pharmacy BVI has rededicated its branch in the heart of Road Town Tortola, located in the Omahaj building. The rededication took place over the weekend on Saturday to say reflections by many board of directors on the past 30 years of service, as well as they were joined by many of their long-standing staff who have contributed significantly towards Medicure Pharmacy. Now, in case you missed our live coverage of the rededication, here are some scenes from the occasion. Take a look.
How Medicure came about. It's quite a long time ago. Actually, Medicure is now 30 years old. Imagine that. We started back in 1991. And Medicure, in fact, started as small dispensaries in each of the doctors' offices. And from there, these little dispensaries actually merged into what Medicure is today. It was that vision that the doctors, including myself, Dr. Vanterpool, Dr. Hodge, as well, and yes, the three doctors out of the practices that Medicure was born. And I am so proud today, this afternoon, to see Medicure is now developed into a fine young lady, 30 years old. Wonderful. The expansion that we have embarked on for Medicure Pharmacy was necessary because Medicure really has had outgrown its space. The dispensary in particular was so busy, sometimes overwhelming at times, that we had people lined up out in the corridors and so on, trying to get inside, and it had become cramped, and so we needed more space. So we embarked then on expanding the pharmacy, and we wanted to make it as comfortable for our clients, our patients, as possible. So the improvements that we have made at Medicure Pharmacy includes a modernization of the whole architecture and the ambience of the pharmacy.
1988, roughly. I had just returned from England in 1985. I started my clinic. I didn't have a specific name for it, but I know it was going to be a Eureka. At first I named it Eureka Diagnostic Services, and then I said Eureka Medical Clinic. I want to just give specific recognition to the fact that it was actually Dr. O'Neill who came up with the idea that we should start a pharmacy as well a medical center, because he had his own small medical center, I had my small medical center, Dr. Miriam Hart had hers. And we thought by coming together, we'd keep our individual offices separate, but we would put together the pharmacy and the lab, and we actually had an X-ray department at that time. So the X-ray department that is now Eureka or Bougainvillea actually started as part of Medicure.
That was Dr. Hubert O'Neill and Dr. Hesketh Vanterpool, both who are Board of Director members at Medicure Pharmacy. Viewers, in case you miss our live coverage of the rededication, same can be viewed by visiting our Facebook page at 284 Media. Continuing on, dessert competitions for secondary and tertiary school students were held as part of the activities in observance of Farmers and Fishers Week 2021. Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, Deputy Premier and Minister for Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries and Agriculture, pointed to the connection between the competitions and the BVI hospitality industry. The minister said, and I quote, "The dessert competitions were extremely important because there is great potential for our local agriculture and fishing industry to be linked to our hospitality industries. Our locals and visitors alike enjoy eating out, and using locally grown and caught food greatly enhances the highlights to the uniqueness of our culinary experience." The first competition, held on the Department of Agriculture grounds in Paraquita Bay, was among secondary students from schools across the territory, including the Elmore Stout High School, the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies, VVI Seventh-day Adventist School, St. George's Secondary School, and Cedar International School, and of course, Claudia Creekey Educational Center. Now, all participants were required to incorporate coconut in their desserts that were judged on aroma, texture, consistency, flavor, and appearance, and creativity. Videos and posters of the students preparing their desserts also factored into the students' overall score. Now, prizes were then awarded in 3 different categories: cake, pies, and cookies/dessert bars. The prize for the best individual cake was awarded to the Miss Johannes Block of Cedar International School, while Lauren Baptiste and Denisha White of the BVI Seventh-day Adventist School took home the prize for Best Team Cake. Now, the best pie was awarded to Benjamin Moore of Siboney Center for Excellence. Michaela Smith of Siboney Center for Excellence took home the prize for Best Individual Cookie or Dessert Bar. Now, the BVI Seventh-day Adventist School was also awarded a prize for having the most students participate in the competition. All students took home a certificate of participation. Now, the second dessert competition was held at the exhibition and market day on Saturday, May 1st, for students at the tertiary levels. The students of all whom attended the H. Lavity Stout Community College were also required to incorporate coconut into every dessert. Best cake at this level was awarded to Mia McMaster, while best pie went to Casey Smith and Ashley Brown. They secured the prize for best cookie and bar dessert. Now, Mrs. Carolyn Stout Igwe, the permanent secretary for the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries, and Agriculture, said the decision to hold the dessert competition was a means of getting students involved in the week of activities to commemorate Farmers and Fishers Week. Mrs. Igwe said, and I quote, "The coconut was selected because of its versatility. We wanted to feature a local fruit as the main ingredient for the desserts to provide some context for the students. I was very pleased with the level of creativity and as well enthusiasm displayed among the students and the quality of their presentations." Now, the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries is committed to ensuring the sustainability, they say, of production, harvest, and supply of safe, high-quality food, of regulating the agriculture and fisheries sector in the British Virgin Islands. Special congratulations to all the students who participated in the competition. The Commission of Inquiry held its first hearing on May 4th, 2021. The Commissioner began by making an opening statement on the progress of the COI to date. Now, the purpose of the initial hearings he intends to hold and the reason why at least some of these hearings need to be private, at least in the first instance. Now, the statement made clear the Commissioner's commitment to openness and transparency. The full text, of course, of the statement is available on the COI's website. The Commissioner is now seeking to correct some misinterpretations that have arisen in the covering of the Commissioner's opening statement as to his decision to hold private hearings. Now, the suggestion by some is that the Commissioner wishes hearings to be private or secret has no foundation. It is with this in mind his wish that each hearing is made public to the fullest extent. However, he is now required to take into account the rights and obligation of those who appear before him. A number of governmental bodies have provided documents to the COI. As we all know, in respect of these documents, the Attorney General has confirmed that the government reserves its position as regards its right to privileges and confidentiality. Now, these issues affect how much documents can be used and disclosed by the COI. The Commissioner has decided that his internal hearings need to be in private to allow for secure provision of the information and documents over which the rights are, or as many, have been maintained. The provision of such information and documentation is necessary, he says, when it comes down to the continued work of the COI. However, the Commissioner's intention is that, however possible, the work of the COI should be conducted in public as to keep the BVI public aware of its progress. In respect of the hearings, he has invited the Attorney General to make submissions as to why he should not publish the full transcript. Once he has received those submissions, the Commissioner will decide whether the transcript can be published with necessary reductions if appropriate. Now, if his intention is that these transcripts be made available on the COI website, public access to the transcripts will ensure transparency and really avoid the misreporting of hearings in respect of the hearings in which there are no issues such as privilege and confidentiality. It's the Commissioner's intent that they both be live streamed. Now, at the first hearing, the Commissioner heard oral submissions from the Attorney General on her application to participate in the COI in her own right on behalf of a number of identified governmental bodies. The Commissioner subsequently received evidence from the Cabinet Secretary, Ms. Sandra Ward. Now, the Commission has issued orders following the hearing, which will be be published on the COI website shortly. Viewers, we continue to keep you informed as the highly anticipated and watched COI continues to conduct hearings in the British Virgin Islands. Now, still ahead, public pound to address roaming livestock problems, says Agriculture Minister, and landfill establishment and waste rehabilitation tenders have been received. All this and so much more when 284 News returns. Gentlemen, aspiring gentlemen, and our partners that hold us down. It's season 2 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, taking you on the most inspiring journey with the best and brightest distinguished gentlemen of the BVI. Raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men like you've never seen them before. Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert, Jovan Klein, Neil Klein, and so much more. Turning modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen with yours truly, Ron Grant, a 284 Media production. Viewers, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the BVI. A new public pound created as a response to the growing number of roaming livestock across the territory was officially opened last week. Deputy Premier and Minister for Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries and Agriculture, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, in remarks at the ceremony, said, "The stray animals eating crops is a big challenge for us here in the BVI." Honorable Wheatley said, and I quote, "We needed to improve our infrastructure to be able to deal with these stray animals. I am glad that we are getting some of these resources today to be able to address these problems. It is very hard when you plant. You must put a lot of time, energy, and money into planting just to watch animals eat your whole garden. It is very difficult." The minister affirmed that the new public pound removes some obstacles from his path in developing the agriculture sector. He continued by saying, I have an unyielding commitment to make sure that agriculture and fisheries are going to be a significant part of our economy and a significant part of our society. There are lots of things, obstacles along the way, but I will not be discouraged. Meanwhile, Director of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Theodore James, is calling on the persons who are affected by roaming livestock and dogs on their private property to contact and notify the department. Director James said, and I quote, following a notification, the department dispatches the animal control team to investigate or capture animals. Captured animals are processed, publicized, and held. Livestock that is not registered becomes the property of the Crown. All animals will be forfeited to the Crown if their owners do not claim them or do not pay the total amount payable for the release of the animals within 21 days from the day of capture and when it was advertised to the Pound's notice board. Now, the numbers to call to log a complaint roaming livestock, including stray dogs and cats, are 468-6123 or 468-6124. That's Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Director of Program Strategy Department at the RDA and Project Lead, Mr. Neil Smith, said the government of the Virgin Islands is developing an ambitious waste management strategy aimed at a maximum prevention, reuse, and recovery of solid waste. In support of this, 4 consultants submitted a proposal to the Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency for consulting services to provide a feasible assessment and concept design for a sanitary landfill establishment, existing waste site rehabilitation and establishment, and for an auxiliary service station in the British Virgin Islands. Mr. Smith said, and I quote, 7 companies were shortlisted by the government of the Virgin Islands to participate in this opportunity, of which 4 responded by the bid submission deadline. Now, the technical proposals will now be evaluated by a team of evaluators, following which the financial proposals will be reviewed. Feedback from ongoing public consultations being led by the Ministry of Health and Social Development will feed into the development of the successful consultation methodology. The ministry's policy, he said, to documents can be found at the BVI governmentpage.com/policy documents, that's RDA, and that's held until June of 2021. Mr. Smith also added that the overarching outcomes for waste management is to provide waste diversion and disposal facilities which support, of course, the reduction of waste and provide a sustainable means for disposal that embodies accountability and transparency through the waste life cycle. He said the successful consultant's outcome must be consistent with the draft waste management strategy and align with sustainable development goals, representing value for money whilst embracing our curricular economy. The Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency continues to support, they say, the government of the Virgin Islands with its ambitious recovery plan and provide technical expertise in support of major infrastructure projects. We continue to wish the RDA the very best as we continue to seek to continue the redevelopment and recovery of the agency. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News. Healthcare facilities across the territory of the Virgin Islands are being encouraged to achieve effective hand hygiene action at the point of care in observance of World Hygiene Day. Now, the topic, Save Lives, Clean Your Hands campaign is observed annually in an effort to support healthcare workers' efforts to improve hand hygiene in the healthcare setting. Infection Prevention of Control Manager Mrs. Rosa Rivera Seaman said that washing hands with soap and water or sanitizing with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer is the most effective way to break the chain of infection and disease transmission. She said, the point of care refers to the place where the patient, the healthcare worker, and patient's environment interacts to prevent, she said, the transmission of infectious orgasms during healthcare delivery. Proper hand hygiene should be performed, and that's organisms, during their healthcare delivery. Proper hygiene should be performed. Mrs. Seaman went on to state that hand hygiene is required in healthcare before and after contact with patients, their body, substances, or items contaminated by them, and before and after performing invasive procedures. In an official comment, she said hand hygiene is also required after assisting patients with personal care, before and after putting on and taking off gloves, before preparing, handling, serving, or eating food or feeding a patient, after performing personal functions, and when hands come into contact with all different types of blood or bloody fluids. Now, the Infection Prevention and Control Manager added that every year, millions of patients around the world are affected by healthcare-associated infections. The Save Lives, Clean Your Hands campaign, she explained, is important, as many of the infections can be prevented by caregivers washing or sanitizing their hands at key moments in their patient's care. Our hands heal, but they can't also heal from harm. She said, I want to encourage healthcare professionals in private and public practice to adhere to the guidelines to do their part in saving lives by cleaning their hands at the point of care. World Hand Sanitization Hygiene Day was observed under the theme Achieving Hand Hygiene at the Point of Care. And of course, these measures are even more important, viewers, as we continue to traverse through the global pandemic that is COVID-19, making sure that persons wash their hands to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. We take a look over on the regional scene over in St. Croix, USVI. A very sad story. A 16-year-old boy was shot and killed early Sunday morning during a drive-by shooting at the John F. Kennedy Terrace Housing Community. The consortium, VI Consortium, reported, and based on information that was corroborated by the VIPD Public Information Officer, Toby Derima. According to Derima, at about 12:21 a.m. Sunday, the 911 emergency call center received reports of shots fired and a man down at JFK in the vicinity of the building 28. Officers traveled to the area and found an unresponsive black male with gunshot wounds, and it was determined that the victim did not have any vital signs. Now, a 9-year-old girl was in a nearby apartment, was also reportedly grazed by the bullet during the incident, Mr. Drumis said. The deceased victim was identified as 16-year-old Kimani Padurmo of JFK Terrace. Sunday's homicide carried the territory's total for 2020 to 20 homicides. That's 17 on St. Croix, 2 on St. Thomas, and 1 on St. John. As we continue to monitor the unprecedented violence over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that has been occurring also in the BVI, we do take special attention to the troubling times of COVID-19. Of course, in this particular incident, this was a drive-by that claimed the life of a 16-year-old young man over in St. Croix, and we continue to wish the residents of the U.S. Virgin Islands the utmost of safety as they continue to traverse through their daily lives. All right, viewers, we're going to be right back after a word from our commercial break. Stick with us.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Over there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Top of power.
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up or
The wind.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Jumping is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the
Viewers, that is all the time we have for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. It's always a pleasure. We will of course see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. In addition, be sure to keep posted to our page for a number of live interviews as we continue to keep you informed. A happy Monday to everyone. Do have a great evening and a wonderful week. Take care. Bye-bye.